Hey, Patrick, did you manage to get your hands on the PS5 pre-order yet?
You know, Jimmy, I spent all night refreshing like 8 online stores, but haven't gotten one yet. How about you, Emma?
I found one on eBay, totally unrelated. Can I borrow $25,000? Welcome to the download, coming at you live from the VENN studio. So live, if we wanted, we could do the entire show just by reading chat out loud, but we'd never do that because there'd be way too much we'd have to bleep out.
Yeah, not doing that.
Yeah, no.
I'm Patrick Shanley, that is Emma Fife, and that way over there is Jimmy Wong. If you want someone to tell your comments directly at us, head over to Discord or the chat to let us know what you think.
Alternatively, you could just follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch at WatchVenn. That might be easier and actually a little bit less loud.
Yeah.
Later in the
show,
show,
all those things.
Sure.
You know?
well, later on in the show, we will be joined by the one and only, the two-time Divas champion, the inaugural NXT champion, WWE superstar, and Twitch streamer extraordinaire, Paige. But first, let's get things going with the biggest stories of the day in the lowdown. It was a big week for tech pre-orders between the Oculus Quest 2, the NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics card, and of course, the PlayStation 5. PS5 in particular is being listed for massive markups on eBay by people who allegedly got their hands on pre-orders, with some reaching heights of more than $20,000. The exorbitant prices on eBay come after many PlayStation fans expressed frustration with the pre-order process for the consoles, particularly with many retailers opening them up with no warning. Now, the download reached out to eBay and received the following statement. Our trust teams are aware of this issue and we are taking the appropriate action per our pre-sale policy. Now, as we reach a new generation of gaming hardware, what do you think companies can do to fix this scalping problem? Because I don't think it's going away.
No, I mean, listen. This is really a capitalism problem, let's be honest. People feeling like they need to do awful things like this to make a dollar. I hate scalping. It makes me so sad, and I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
I don't either. I mean, I really don't. I don't know what are the companies supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, they made a thing that a lot of people want, and they know that they can kind of take advantage of a system. eBay is trying to crack down. Walmart's trying to crack down.
Yeah.
We know that the policy that we talked about, I spoke to eBay yesterday a little bit, it's supposed to give a 30-day window before release, so obviously this breaks that policy. They're doing what they can to crack down on it, but those things are already up. There's not really so much we can do, and I don't know if it's incumbent on the companies themselves to really stop this from happening.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sony's supposed to do. I don't know what NVIDIA's supposed to do, other than offering their product on their own site or through their partners. What?
You're welcome to having a website crash like none other, because they're not even close to being able to handle that kind of load.
They killed Walmart yesterday. Walmart's website crashed. That's
Yeah.
how big the demand is for
Yeah, the Onirac in chat says you fix it by providing enough stock, and follows up with, and not screwing up your pre-sale. As previously discussed, the
Certainly helps.
Sony pre-sale was largely unannounced. In fact, there was information out there on Wednesday saying the pre-sale was going to begin on Thursday, and then by Wednesday it was already sold out at a bunch of major retailers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Look,
it's-
they're not completely like innocent in this. It's not like
No,
everything.
no.
Innocent's not the right word, but they're not completely without fault here. There were faults in the chain of how this was rolled out. However, it's really easy to say, oh, make more consoles and make them more available. The reality of that is a little bit different, and I
We're
don't
in a
wanna-
pandemic!
yeah,
maybe people forgot.
absolutely.
Manufacturing is definitely a tougher thing to do these days. I think it's interesting because there's been a grassroots movement of a lot of people going on eBay and just fake bidding up these things to massive numbers so that the actual scalpers will never get a real listing through. But that requires quite a bit of Robin Hooding by people that have no stake in it, other than, these people are taking advantage of a bad situation.
Yeah.
That does show a point, though. Like, what are we doing about this?
Well-
you know, is that something we can do to
Like
try and cut
you
down on this?
personally,
Yeah, me
Patrick?
personally. I should log on like Robin Hood and save all of you.
Okay, so here's a thought. So you know how like San Diego Comic-Con works, and you basically have to do like a pre-verification kind of situation
Lottery
to
and
get
all
a
that,
badge.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder, the thing is PlayStation did have something set up on their website to basically enroll in maybe being included in a like exclusive pre-order, and I know for a fact that they did it because I have friends that got emails from Sony and were
Right.
able to get into this sort of like private pre-order situation. But I
Fancy
wonder
friend.
if I know, right?
VIP at the club,
I
right?
didn't get in, so I am not part of the 1%. It turns out I already knew that. But I do wonder if maybe other retailers need to have a similar system in place. Because, for example, this is a weird tangent, but this
Yeah.
Stranger Things event that's happening in October here
Yeah,
in
The
LA.
drive-through
The
experience,
drive-through
yeah.
Stranger Things experience. So Jimmy and I both signed up for the sort of like waiting list for it, and if you didn't sign up for that list, you could still click on the link to buy tickets, but you were not allowed to try and purchase tickets until the following day.
I see.
So I wonder if there's some sort of system that could be in place like that for
The only problem is, how do you
pre-orders.
avoid just the people that have bots, automated
I know,
scalping
I
things?
know.
Because this is happening for NVIDIA cards now too.
Yeah.
Apparently those are being listed for absurd amounts online as well. So I think like the ultimate problem is that there is not enough protection online to stop against some sort of verified thing going in there and completing the whole order process in a millisecond. When we have to sit there and wait for
Yeah.
each page to refresh. And it feels like, sneakerheads go through this all the time.
Yes.
People that love Mondo posters go through this all the time, and it's the biggest source of salt. Where it's like, I got up early, I waited for this long to do this, and I clicked, and I was there, and I have high-speed internet, but I couldn't get it through. And then you hear about someone being like, yeah, me and my friends got 3 computers hooked up, we all bought one, and we're gonna resell them.
Damn you.
So I think, yeah, it's like capitalism is a big problem. Everyone wants money, and this is a very easy target to be like, buy this, resell it, you're gonna at least get some money.
And this is good for the companies too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an ad, basically. Look how popular our thing is. The day that we announced it, we killed Walmart's website.
Ugh, well,
No, they just killed Walmart, according to Patrick.
Oh,
Chan.
Walmart is completely dead.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
man, that might. Anyway,
We should have led with that, really.
No comment on that, but
Big Sony energy.
Speaking of, the trash fire that is this society right now, this morning the Trump administration said it will be banning TikTok and WeChat from app stores beginning this Sunday. The announcement comes as the administration looks to make good on its promises to ban the Chinese-owned apps entirely, unless ByteDance sells them to an American company. Obviously, this is an unprecedented move, but what are some of the bigger ramifications if TikTok and its sister apps are banned from the U.S.?
I think there'd be widespread ramifications that might affect United States-owned companies
Yeah.
like Twitter and Facebook and pretty much everyone who sat in front of Congress a couple months ago. I'm confused by the timing of it because earlier this week we found out that Oracle is in talks to buy a stake in.
A stake, but they said that
and
ByteDance will still be a majority owner?
Which I also
Which
don't
seems like the big
understand.
issue that they
yeah,
have,
right?
Yeah.
Because this is also happening with Tencent in video game companies, because we know that the Trump administration went out to Riot Games and Epic Games saying that Tencent is an issue now in the stakes that they hold in these companies.
Right.
So this is widespread. This is happening in lots of different places. Come Sunday, this might be the biggest flag that's planted of we are cracking down for real on this. What's going to
Yeah.
be done?
But it requires the buy-in of the actual app stores to go in and get rid of the stuff. It's not like this administration has a secret login to go in there and remove things
Right.
willy-nilly, right?
Yeah, and I mean, basically what's going to end up happening is that I guess starting on Sunday, you will no longer be able to download TikTok from the App Store. And much like everything, how it went down with Fortnite and Apple, as far as Epic Games is concerned, you won't get any updates to TikTok after Sunday
But again,
as
isn't
well.
that up to the app store? Like, what if,
Yeah.
Tim Cook is just like, nah, and just like keeps it on the app store?
But that's a really good what
It
if.
is.
What if he does that? Like,
Yeah.
what happens to Apple then in that situation?
Well, because that's my question is that obviously you have your companies like your Apple and your Google who have a huge stake in the download of these apps from their app stores. Do they have grounds to basically say no in a government mandated situation?
Well, they have hot feet right now too from the government
Yeah.
because they're doing a lot of the same things that we're accusing China of doing. There is harvesting of
Exactly.
data happening in U.S. companies. So again, it just leads me back to the same question: is what is this going to mean for all companies moving forward?
Right.
If the government makes a mandate here that this is something we're not going to allow, because we're allowing it for tons of other companies. Is it
Exactly.
just because it's a foreign entity, which I also understand?
Right. No, definitely. And I mean, we had a little bit of a conversation this morning off air about sort of the dichotomy of people having all of these objections to these Chinese-owned companies. And by and large, people are in support of keeping TikTok active in the U.S., at least certainly amongst a certain age group, particularly Gen Z. But we were so opposed to and fascinated by, you know, bringing out the Russian interference in the 2016 election and potentially in the 2020 election. So I understand the sort of hypocritical nature of me being like, I want to keep TikTok, but I'm wildly against that. However, because like you were saying, Patrick, you do have all of these American-owned companies that are also very easily able to, and certainly are mining people's data. This, to me, just based on the circumstances and the fact that this all kind of ramped up following what happened with the Tulsa rally and people via TikTok going and basically reserving all of the seats there, it does feel to me like this is more along the lines of government censorship, even though what they're saying is it's a data issue.
It's called scapegoating.
Yeah.
In general. It's typically the path that this government has taken.
Like, this is the beginning of the story. It's not going to stop. It's going to go
No.
So we'll
find
have
out what
much
happens
more.
on Sunday.
Yeah. Also this morning, CD Projekt Red released a new teaser for its upcoming open-world RPG, Cyberpunk 2077. On top of a video showing off some of the locations players will be traveling to in the game, the developer dropped a website that mocks up a newspaper front page for the game's setting, Night City. Jimmy, let's start with you. Have all the delays on Cyberpunk 2077 killed some of the hype for you?
My Twitter app decides to show me an entire thing of Cyberpunk stuff every single day, and they've just been constantly posting screenshots and all this other stuff. It feels like the game has been out for a year, but I just haven't been able to play it yet. I'll pick it up when it gets there. All of this stuff, I think, is just sort of dressing on the side. I don't think it makes a big difference for Cyberpunk right now. So I'll be interested to see where it goes. But I do think it's cool to have this sort of world building built into the game, and shows that they really have put a lot of time into that part of it, which I think is exciting for people that like this sort of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely win the award for longest trailer in the world. They dropped this morning. It was so long. But, I mean, it did kind of give me a better sense of what sort of world we're going to be stepping into in Cyberpunk 2077. By and large, like, I'm a fan of the aesthetic. I still don't understand why I can create a character if all I can see are their hands. But you know what?
But the hand customization is just off the charts.
Yeah, it feels like GTA a little more.
That's what I was
Originally,
thinking,
I was like,
too.
oh, this is like a gritty shooter, and now this is like Grand Theft Auto?
But we know that CD Projekt Red are huge fans of Rockstar because they've said in the
Yeah.
past, we want the level of detail that they put into Red Dead Redemption in this game. I don't know if they've achieved it with every little bit that I'm seeing of this game. Because I'm a huge Red Dead fan, and I think what they did is amazing, but that is a pretty high bar to clear.
True.
I feel like this game getting pushed out of the spring market when it was originally supposed to launch, well, this year when it was originally supposed to maybe hurt the hype a little bit because now it's launching after next-gen consoles are on the market, and this is not technically a next-gen game.
And it's so interesting to me because, yeah, as you say, Patrick, this is technically not a next-gen game, and also this is a game that largely has not been included in the next-gen conversation. We didn't see any new Cyberpunk stuff at the PlayStation event or
They
at
made
the
sure to
Xbox
tweet to
event.
let you know, though.
Yes, yes, they did.
Our faithful voters have said nothing could kill my vibe.
Oh.
Not even banning it off the App Store on Sunday should Cyberpunk come out. Absolutely nothing can wreck that vibe. Okay, it's time for the download to take a break. But when we return, Aaron Ashley Simon on why the spike in DMC takedowns is, well, you're going to find out because it's her opinion and she's going to be honest. But first, it's time for Solo Queue. What 1996 game soundtrack was unavailable for purchase until it was released on vinyl just this month? Was it A, Doom, B, Quake, C, Resident Evil, or D, the Die Hard trilogy? Aren't there like 6 Die Hard movies now? Head to VENN.tv/play to guess, or just drop your answer in the chat. Results right after the break.
Resident Evil off to
Good. Goodbye. See you soon.
Die Hard game. Welcome back to The Download. Before the break, we asked you which 1996 game's soundtrack was not released commercially until this month. The options were A, Doom, B, Quake, C, Resident Evil, or D, Die Hard Trilogy. You at home believe that it is Doom, which is not correct. The answer is Quake. That's right. The genre-defining FPS is getting a vinyl release after 24 years, but with the input from none other than 9 Inch Nails? Confused? So are they. In their words, just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any weirder, Quake is shipping now.
How about that?
Yay.
You just heard the voice of Emma Fife. I am Patrick Shanley, and to my right over there is Jimmy Wan. And right behind me is our co-host on the East Coast, Aaron Ashley Simon. Aaron, hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? With the TikTok situation, at least we don't have to do any dances anytime soon. So
Oh.
I'm kinda okay.
There you go. you go.
I can dance if I want to.
Love it.
On Thursday, Lincoln Bio, aka Aerocles, on Twitter posted that his Twitter account had been suspended as a result of a years-old post that happened to be playing music from the Star Wars films in the background. The post may seem like a small incident on its own, but it is indicative of a larger trend of companies cracking down on use of their music, images, or videos. To break down what's going on, it's time for Aaron to be honest.
All right, everyone. So the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or better known as DMCA, has had a lot of intense crackdowns recently, and to be honest, it's been pretty ridiculous. But it's understandable why such a copyright law was implemented in the 90s, and I'm hoping that things will get better because there needs to be a better middle ground and a better relationship between the major music record labels and content creators. More than ever, artists and labels are adjusting to the impact of COVID-19. For example, touring, which is a big revenue-generating stream for the music industry, isn't quite a thing right now, or it has at least shifted into a different format. One that's filled with festivals on Twitch, the notable IG Live series Versus, and if we're talking about money and marketing, artists have been creating accounts outside of their artistry as additional branding measures. For example, you have T-Pain, who's been streaming a lot on Twitch, and even Halsey's made a separate Twitter account just to talk about basketball. Music is an instrumental element, not only during these times, but historically it has been for both content creators and the gaming world. So why create such a weird divide now, especially when labels are having to use content creators and streamers and gaming for its benefit, and it has historically. We've seen articles about Twitch's music use regulations and how Facebook Gaming is allowing partners to stream copyrighted music as background element. We've also seen copyright-free music libraries and producers and artists and businesses like Epidemic Sound, Harris Heller with Stream Beats, T-Pain with him creating the Pizzle Pack, and even artists like 21 Savage who've tried to grant or provide music support for streamers and content creators. This moment right now is a great opportunity for the industries to come together and find an actual middle ground. The music industry must catch up with the times, and the content creators must educate themselves on the business. These harsh DMCA crackdowns have been honestly ridiculous, like I said, but with education, protection, and relationship building, all the industries can thrive together because, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's us creatives who help drive the revenue, who help drive the exposure, and who help bring laughter, joy, entertainment, and beauty in the world. So I have a question to you guys and to the Twitch chat. Do you guys think that the music industry should make their content more usable and accessible to content creators, of course, in a fair way? I want to pose it to the team, starting with Jimmy.
Yes. But the thing that always makes it tough is the red tape, because we know that everyone's first prerogative is still, how do we make the most money? And a lot of times, sort of making these relationships is a direct threat to that, because they're like, what do you get in response? You get promotion?
Yeah.
Does that guarantee more downloads, guarantee more album sales? No, in that case, you know, we don't want you using our music. And I don't know exactly how the DMCA takedowns work, but right now I think the thing that I really want to get fixed is how aggressive these bots are, and having some sort of human verification at the other end, so people aren't literally having a anxiety attack and an emotionally angry outburst at the company's doing it.
Yeah, because if it gets picked up in the background of a video, you weren't even trying to profit off of it.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, yes, but I would like to see more human interaction with this, like people actually, you know, not hearing something in the background like an element of actual like breaking things down here.
Right.
But I don't know what that manpower means, and frankly, I think it's a pipe dream.
I also have a question about games like Tony Hawk, you know, that have artists licensed on their soundtrack. Like, if you're streaming that game, do you put yourself, because gaming in of itself is such a gray area, because like there's licensed music in video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know
ton.
for a fact that you can't play that music. That was one of the things that was contingent in the gameplay, in the contract that we all signed. Joining us now is Jeff Becker, lawyer and secretary of the Chicago chapter of the Recording Academy, so this guy should know a thing or two. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. How are you?
Good.
Very good, thank you.
Talking DMCA. First off, who are DMCA
today, right?
Yeah.
Why not talk about the DMCA? You're speaking my language.
Let's do it. I love it. Who are DMCA takedowns positioned to protect more, the artist or the company utilizing the artist's work? And furthering that, who triggers the strikes and why do they come in waves?
Oh, it's a compound question. I'll try to remember as much of that as I can. Look, it's a give and take. It's designed to protect multiple parties. I think that congressionally, the reason the DMCA even existed is to protect companies like Google and Facebook and Spotify, right? who are allowing so much user-generated content to be uploaded to their systems that they had no way, especially in the 90s when this was passed, to vet all of it, to determine whether or not there's actually content in the music being uploaded to know whether it's infringing. On the other side of it, this does give content creators, owners, a really special vehicle to try to protect their rights that you might not necessarily think about, right? We personally issue, and this is not what Jimmy was talking about, I'm not a bot. I issue DMCA takedowns all the time for my artists when their music's being sampled or infringed upon. You know, we see this all the time where we can actually go to Spotify or YouTube and have the music taken off the internet when the alternative is what? Sending a cease and desist letter to the infringer and hoping that they'll listen to us. It actually does provide a level of leverage for the artist who's trying to protect their rights too. So it's a give and take. And I think one of you, it might have been Emma, was talking about technology and the evolution of technology. That's a big part of what I think we could talk about, because these bots and everything else that's been created have caused a bit of a mucky situation.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. So what options do social media platforms have to try to mitigate these issues and create fair use, both for the creators and also protecting the original artists and the companies that they're contractually obligated to?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the issue, well, first of all, they can play ball with the content creators and the companies that those content creators have chosen to work with, right? A substantial majority of the content creators whose music people want to use are signed to major record labels, right? And it's not just an option, it's actually being practiced by many of these companies, these social media companies. They're contracting with the labels and label groups, right? Facebook Gaming is a good example, the most recent example of this. Facebook Gaming has entered into agreements with each of the 3 major record labels, which covers a substantial majority of the largest recorded music, as well as Merlin, a group that combined protects a substantial majority of the independent record labels, which then allows all of that music to become available to its gamers and its users to utilize it. And on the back end, there are these algorithms and technological advances that Facebook's putting into place to identify what's being played so they can share in that revenue with these labels and these artists. That's the smartest way to go, right?
Yeah.
Is just work with the people who own the content and develop plans on how you're going to monetize that going forward.
Right. So you're saying basically that the platforms, and it's sort of incumbent upon, say, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, to get these contracts in place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, look, if you think about, this is not new. This is going back decades. There's always going to be, always has been, a conflict between technology and music. The technology business and the music business are very different. The music business is essentially a 1,000-ton train moving at 60 miles an hour. It's hard to slow them down and get them to turn very quickly. Whereas looking at technological advances, you know, my flat panel TV, my first one, was out of date when I was still paying it off a couple of years later, right?
Yeah.
And so think about it. Betamax came, and there's a huge uproar about the fact that you can record something off of television, which was copyrighted content.
Yeah.
Napster in the music space was a huge issue. The music industry was in uproar, right? They were suing college kids and their grandparents for copyright infringement. It wasn't until Apple and $1 download made it more palatable for the consuming public to buy the music, and then things started moving the right direction again.
Yeah.
Right? Streaming happened next, and we've kind of started moving in the right direction again. The recorded music industry is making money again.
Yeah.
But this whole world right now, especially with COVID and live performances and streaming, it's hitting a nerve, and everybody is trying to figure out how to deal with it. The best thing we can do is find a way to work together.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. The download does have to take a break, but when we return, we'll reveal the winner of yesterday's fantasy console draft.
I know
Stick
who that
around.
Patrick.
Tonight on VENN, Kelsey Dara joins Sasha Grey and Dumbfounded on Gray Area to talk about, well, anything they want or anything you want, as they'll be taking calls from you, the audience. So make sure you hop into the Discord to find out how you can join. And don't miss it, tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back to the download. All four of us are still here and ready, so let's get into some news. Downloadable content is up next.
Yay!
The Twitch mid-roll ad experiment is over. The streaming partner announced last night. In a tweet, the company said ads are an essential part of keeping Twitch freely available, and we understand your concerns. We'll continue to work on ways to improve the viewer experience and give streamers more control. Patrick, do you think the mid-roll ads will still be back in some form?
Well, based on the success of this endeavor, I'm going to say no. I do know, however, that ad sales are very, very important for Twitch. Emmett Shear, the CEO of Twitch, told me personally last year at TwitchCon how important they are. So I don't think ads are going away on Twitch, and I'm sure they're going to find another way to try and get them in there as much as possible because it makes a lot of money for the company.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Twitch needs to just not make so many of these mistakes. I mean, there's been kind of mistake after mistake with Hispanic Heritage Month and then this. They have to really focus in on empowering the content creators because, yes, ad-based revenue is important, but it's the creators on your platform that are going to help drive the revenue and help drive the additional ads they'll be adding on. So they got to just be careful with some of the decisions that they make.
Well, here's another decision they made. Yesterday, the Twitch Rivals Phase face-off. Hard to say. It started with 25 star-studded teams facing off in Call of Duty Warzone. Teams featured streaming stars like Tim the Tatman and FaZe Rug playing alongside music superstars T-Pain and Marshmello. Aaron, is this one possible future for esports popularity?
I mean, yes, esports organizations they're going to have to be more than just, oh, I have a great team and we're competing. They're going to have to function, like we talked about, as entertainment and multifaceted companies, because despite what people think, in the esports world, it's not quite a stable model financially, and return on investment isn't the greatest when it comes to teams. So having these things and having like involvement of celebs is important for the overall growth of the scene.
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback on what Erin said there, and yeah, she's putting it lightly. Esports loses money. It's not at the point yet, and the market saturation isn't at the point yet where it's a huge, huge deal. So definitely, I think it's very right. FaZe and companies like this need to find ways to branch out into the broader entertainment space. Pandemic's the perfect time to do it. All right, yesterday we held our inaugural fantasy console draft, which, despite our protest, dictator Erin undemocratically declared herself commissioner. We didn't vote. That's fine. But we asked you in chat to vote on who put together the best launch lineup for their dream console release. After a full day of Twitter voting, the winner is Emma.
Whoa! The person who picked Final Fantasy. What a surprise.
Exactly. That is the power of franchises, baby.
Rigged. This is fake
This is not
news.
rigged. This is
unbelievable.
corrupt news.
How dare you bring the integrity into question?
I lost by 5%?
This is real news. I won fair and square. I took Final Fantasy 16. I was always going to win. All right, listen, the weebs are out there, and they will always vote for the Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Get wrecked, Jimmy,
Erin, tell
get
us what you thought about this.
I mean, yeah, Emma got you guys on these legendary franchises. I mean, look, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Halo, and COD.
Exactly.
How can you beat that? I mean, yeah, Dagon chose Spider-Man.
Right.
You have God of War 2. So obviously you guys have two notable franchises as well. But Emma got you guys on 4 of 4.
Yeah,
so
the fourth
I
round
understand
draft
why they
picked
voted.
COD. What the heck?
I know. It was very, very strategic. So thank you, Erin, for your support. Speaking of competitions in the video game world, it's time for the eSports Fantasy Breakdown with Rob Gonzales, brought to you by DraftKings. Take it away, Rob.
Thanks for the intro, guys. I love playing fantasy esports, and DraftKings has tens of thousands of dollars up for grabs during the League of Legends World Championships next weekend. And you can get in on the action and play free for your share of real cash prizes with your first deposit. Now, if you want to play along, download the DraftKings app and sign up using the promo code VENN with your first deposit. Now, each lineup has a $50,000 salary cap to spend on a captain, top lane, jungler, mid, ADC, support, and the team of your choice. The captain gives us 1.5 times the points, so that player is easily our most important pick to get right. Scoring is pretty simple. You'll get points from map objectives and, of course, winning the game. Players get 3 points for a kill, 2 points for an assist, and lose a point for each death. Plus, extra points for CS and if the player gets double-digit kills or assists. With the rules out of the way, let's talk about some of my dark horse teams that can make you some money next week. We have the LGL Champs V3. After placing third in spring, this newly assembled squad matured quickly to reach new heights in taking down former LGL kingpin Detonation Focus Me. Boogie, their jungler, is another name that should sound familiar as he was a member of the Flash Wolves along with Betty and Xiao Si. Boogie averaged 35.6 points per game during the LGL regular season and was able to completely take over games, twice going over 60 points. The last team we'll look at today is the runner-up from the PCS PSG Talon eSports. After a wild run in the playoffs that saw them beat the eventual PCS champions Machi eSports, they ran into Machi again in the finals thanks to the double elimination format, losing that match to qualify as the number 2 seed from the region. Visa issues will keep 2 of their Korean imports out of play in competition. Still, they have added Kong Yao and Uniboy from AHQ, which means 4 of 5 roster players now have World Championship experience. Uniboy, their replacement mid laner, will be the primary carry for the team and average 29.8 points per game in the summer split. With the addition of the players from AHQ, Talent will be a bit of a wild card, but with their experience and skill, this team could make some noise in the play-in stage. Now, that's all I have for the Fantasy Esports update, but remember, you can play free for your share of thousands in prizes this weekend on DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy esports. Download the DraftKings app and sign up using the promo code VENN with your first deposit. And next week, we will talk about specific lineups and salaries, but until then, I'm Rob Reforge Gonzales, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Rob. It's time for the download to take a break, but when we return, we're joined by WWE superstar Paige to play a quick round of nerdy Never Have I Ever. Woo-hoo! You are not going to want to miss this. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome back to the download. The weekend starts soon, so let's get you in the new.
Lady Gaga has returned, dropping a new track this morning called 911. As expected, the video is over the top, eccentric, and generally just very Gaga, for lack of a better term. It's already gained around 500,000 views in the 2 hours since it was released. Just in case you were wondering if Gaga could still bring it, yeah, pick up the telephone, she can.
She can.
She can bring it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Disney Plus announced Thursday it had cast Tatiana Maslany to play the lead role in upcoming She-Hulk series. This was reported by Deadline's Justin Kroll, formerly of Variety. Good guy. Maslany is most known for playing the lead role in Orphan Black, for which she was nominated for 3 Emmys. Most recently, she co-starred in HBO drama Perry Mason. She-Hulk is one of the live-action shows coming from Marvel Studios to Disney Plus.
She's gonna kill it.
I'm so excited about this. Today, stylized professional wrestling game WWE 2K Battlegrounds launched on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC. The fighting game features tons of WWE superstars from across the company's generations of talent. Our next guest will soon be playable as one of the many free unlockable DLC characters in WWE 2K Battlegrounds. She really needs no introduction, but I'm so excited she's here. Welcome, the 2-time Divas champion, first ever NXT Women's Champion, and now self-proclaimed Queen of Twitch, Paige!
I'm in the middle of moving house right now, so I look like actual doo-doo, but I'm so happy I could do that.
Yeah, we're so happy
What are you
to have
talking
you
about?
here. Yeah, I mean, we could, listen, it's a blank canvas is what I'm seeing behind you there. So, lots of room to add your personal touches. So, Paige, have you seen or played as your character who's going to be released via DLC in the upcoming title?
You know what? I haven't yet. Obviously, I played myself in other video games that WWE has released, but this one I haven't. So I'm really excited to see it, though. I'm very excited. Plus, WWE usually lets us, they give us like codes to download or send us like copies. So hopefully I get one soon so I can play it. I'm excited. On my Twitch, of course.
Yeah, of course. What was it like for you, though, the first time that you got to play as yourself in a video game?
Oh, dude, it was wild because I'm just a little goth girl from like a tiny town in England, right? So just being in WWE in general was freaking bananas. But then to actually see myself in a video game, like, look, Jesus Christ.
Sure.
Yeah.
Make me look way better than what I actually look. This is wonderful. Look at that. Look at that shit. It's crazy. And plus, obviously, you know, the wild thing is that we had to stand there. We had all these cameras around us, you know, like hundreds of cameras all around us. It was a very surreal experience.
Yeah.
It was really surreal.
Now, being in wrestling, you know just how important the fans are, and you've been doing a lot of random acts of streaming kindness. You've been hosting streams for your fans, gifting subs. What drives you to give so much back to this community that's around you?
Well, the fans do so much for me and my career in general. I wouldn't be where I am without my fan base. And also, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so the more I can help out, you know, like this is wonderful. And I love seeing the reactions. They're like, so happy.
Yeah.
Like, just you're just making someone's day like a little bit brighter. They're not expecting it.
Right.
And then you just drop this big sub bomb on them, and they're just over the moon. And I love this. I love it. And it gives me a good feeling. It makes everyone in my chat feel good because they give me a lot of gift subs, which is wonderful. But I like to pay them forward in different ways. So this is one of them.
That's fantastic.
Paige, following your injury, how did you make the transition from your life in wrestling into making Twitch your home as a full-time streamer?
Well, yeah, the injury was super hard, but I also had to try and fill that void of, like, you know, the wrestling side of things with a different entertainment like aspect. And this was wonderful. So my boyfriend, Ronnie, he's actually a Twitch streamer too. He's number 5 on Twitch, or number 4.
Wow.
But he's wonderful. And he's the lead singer of Former Workverse. I have to put a plug in there. He's the one who said, like, you should try out Twitch because it's a wonderful way to, you know, interact with your fans, and also you can build like this wonderful fan base on there. And I always wanted a place where it could be just positivity.
Yeah.
Like, because I do not like how negative some social medias are.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I need to figure out a world where, you know, it is sub only, so it does keep out a lot of negative people too. Because if they pay to talk crap, then they lose in the end, right? So we just try and find, like, you know, a place where it can just be really positive, and a place where people can go and be completely themselves, or if they're having a bad day, they can come and we'll talk and we'll chat and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your Twitch stream, we did notice that you recently changed your name. Was that due to the reported third-party ban?
Yes. So basically, I just have to change. Everyone has to change their name.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
And you have to understand. Things happen like that. So yes, it could change to Soraya, which is my real name, which I think is a beautiful name anyway. My mom did very well.
It's a lovely name.
Did I tell you the story on how she came up with Soraya?
Is it like your mom's wrestling name?
Well, yeah, she hides the fact that it's named after a wrestling name. But you want to know the real reason?
Yeah.
She was at a Slayer concert, and I don't know how PG the show is.
Now you've got to tell it.
Go for it.
But she was, I think she said she was tripping on acid when she was watching Slayer, and she misheard it for Soraya. So pretty much I'm named after Slayer, accidentally.
That's
the most metal
fantastic.
thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that is
Amazing.
pretty
So metal,
hard.
dude.
That is so great. Now, obviously, Paige is an avid gamer. I want to know from you, Xbox or PlayStation? We've been talking about it for weeks.
Actually, I play on PC. I'm a PC gamer.
Part
There
of the
we go.
PC
You need to
master race.
understand.
But we do. I play like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and everything on my computer. But you know, the tricky thing is learning how to do the keyboard side of things. And I have nails too, so I'm like, this is struggling, but I'm getting through it.
Wow, I love those nails. Is there any meaning to them? Or are they just
Oh no, I
super
just like
awesome?
off-white. I like the style, like me and my boyfriend love off-white shoes and stuff like that. So I got off-white inspired nails.
That's fantastic. They look great, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, Paige, now it's
Thanks.
time for something we've never done here. We're calling it Nerdy Never Have I Ever. We've got 5 rounds for you, so just raise your hand or put one of your awesome nails up if you've ever pulled off any of these gaming feats, okay? They're gonna get more difficult as we move along, so let's begin.
Oh my God.
Number 1, Nerdy Never Have I Ever won a free-for-all on GoldenEye on N64. Or played GoldenEye.
No.
None, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not the greatest gamer. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm absolute rubbish at FPS, so no judgment here.
Rubbish.
Okay, Nerdy Never Have I Ever beat a Legend of Zelda game.
Oh my God, I've tried so much. My boyfriend is coming to do it for me. My boyfriend is coming to do it for me. I'm like, I got this, and I get so frustrated. I just throw it on the ground. You know,
That's
you get like
hilarious.
gamer rage. Yeah.
We said they got harder. I feel like they're already pretty hard. Nerdy, never have I ever placed first in the All-Cup tour in Mario Kart.
I haven't even done that.
No one's done it.
My gosh. No, I suck at that too. My friend Raquel is so much better than me, dude. I'm pretty bad at everything. I'm not gonna lie. I have a participation trophy though.
Okay, all right. Well, this one's a nice softball here. Nerdy, never have I ever gotten scared by Resident Evil movie or game.
Yes. Oh, I have. Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Woo, we got one.
All right,
Yeah,
yes.
finally.
All right.
I'm a wuss. So yes.
Nerdy, never have I ever gotten a tattoo based on an episode of a TV show.
I did. I did. Well, I'm a Friends and an Office fanatic, but Friends is my number one. And so I have a dog named Lobster, and I have a tattoo of a lobster behind my ear because there's an episode of Friends where Phoebe's like about Rachel and Ross, these are lobster.
Yeah.
And so I have a little dog, and they called him Lobster.
I know.
We saw Lobster.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he
it looked
around?
like he
Yeah,
barked
he's a
in.
good boy. Lobster.
Aw.
Lobster. He's right here. Let me pick him up.
We have a couple questions for Lobster as well.
Oh.
That's
Lobster.
a handsome dog.
Lobster, how many crowns in Fall Guys do you have?
Xbox or
He has all
PS5?
the crowns. He has all the crowns.
Lobster, are you a good boy or the best boy?
He's the bestest boy. I have to translate for him. Sorry, guys. Are you a good boy? Are you
You
a good boy?
look so peaceful and happy.
Let no one say we shy away from the tough questions on the deck.
Exactly.
I know. The hard-hitting question. He steals the show everywhere, you guys. He really steals the show.
He's so cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a big animal lover, Paige?
Oh my God, I love animals. I used to actually, in between being on the road and stuff like that for WWE, I would go to the Humane Society and I would just go around and hug all the animals so they're easier to adopt, you know?
It's
Because they're stuck in the cages all the time.
It's no wonder you're one of the nicest streamers out there. I think anyone that has
Oh,
love for
yeah.
animals in their heart. Oh, he's even on stream.
Yes! Oh my God. How many followers does your dog have?
Yeah, is he more popular?
What's Lobster's page like?
Oh, Lobster's out. I did make a TikTok and I haven't really started up yet. But on Instagram, he only has about 7,000 so far.
Oh, I'm
We're
gonna follow him.
Oh, everyone
right
follow
now.
Lobster.
That is
If you're gonna plug anything, plug your dog's
Lobster on
Instagram.
All right, so
Instagram.
everybody go follow Lobster on Instagram. Paige, thank you so much for being here and just for everything that you do, particularly for women in the streaming community. It's
Of
so
course.
amazing to see you, as you say, pay it forward and just be a really positive voice in
thank
what
you.
can be a dark and scary place sometimes.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so really thank you so much again for being on the show. It is time for us to take a short break, but when we come back, it's time to squad goals it up with these flight sim acrobatics from Twitch chat.
Oh man, I want to pet Lobster so
I
bad.
know, me too.
You know the nails, though. It's the nails.
He's so cute.
Welcome back to the download. I just followed Lobster the Pity on Instagram. You should too. And it's almost the weekend, which means it's time for our favorite segment where we get to highlight the coolest stuff from around the internet and also yell,
Squad goals!
In the comics, Tony Stark's Iron Man costume is made of some kind of fancy pants metal alloy or something, but we think Praise's cardboard suit is way cooler.
It's definitely way cooler. I mean,
Yeah,
you just
on a
look
scale.
at the level of love that's put into something like that. Of like, this is a kid who wanted to be Iron Man, and the material he had available to him was cardboard boxes.
It looks so good too. I
Yeah.
love these sort of home-crafted costumes.
Don't let your dreams be dreams, kids.
Instead,
Make your dreams
let
into
your dreams
Be
Squad goals!
First, Twitch chat played Pokemon, and now they're flying an airplane.
This can turn out well.
Yes, that's right. Almost 100 members of game developers Rami Ismaili's Twitch feeds spent time trying to not crash a plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Look at it go. It's just like, hey, who wants to do a barrel roll?
Yeah.
Do a
How
barrel
about let's
roll.
stall out.
I mean, I appreciate that they were trying to not crash the plane, unlike in Twitch Plays Pokemon, where they just wanted to
Much
run
easier
into
to
walls.
crash the plane.
This is so hectic. Imagine being in that plane.
It's also
Squad goals!
Squad goals. Ever thought you were the biggest Marvel fan around? You got some nerve. This guy's got something to say about that. Just look at this Avengers Wall TikTok user, the Milano Pilot, and his roommates put together.
I'm waiting for the reveal.
Dang.
This is cool.
Yeah, that's like your very own like Stark Tower with the Avengers symbol, and I mean, look, they've got all these Post-it notes. They're doing everything to scale.
Do you think the Homeowners Association approved of this wall? Because
I would
don't
hope
care.
so, because it's
Squad
goals!
All right, Magic Wheelchair builds cosplay for kids in wheelchairs, and its latest project is one of the coolest things we've ever seen. William received this amazing Godzilla cosplay recently, fully kitted out with lights, roars, smoke breath. This, I mean, what a way to make a kid's dream come true. Could you imagine rolling up to a convention, at a Comic-Con, or anything with this? What an amazing company.
You would just feel so cool
I love
and not like little. And I love this. This is absolutely
VENNSquadGoals.
Thanos isn't exactly the most cuddly of characters. That is, unless he's been crocheted and stuffed like Jenna Bates, aka Woolly McWoolface, on TikTok did. That is
God.
putting in
She's getting in there.
Oh, look at them big lips. This is a very interesting cosplay.
and
The
she's putting
fact-
makeup
some
on it?
makeup
Wow.
on it. I mean, it looks surprisingly
it looks insane.
amazing.
What
Yeah.
do you do with it?
You
sleep
just
with it?
Sleep with it at night? Yeah, cuddle with
Intimidate
it.
your neighbors with it.
SquadGoals. Rule the universe.
As always, if you have anything you think would fit in our squad, hit us up on Discord or on Twitter. Use that hashtag VENNSquadGoals. I want to see it.
Yeah. All right, before we go, we wanted to show off some stuff that we're excited for this weekend, because it is Friday in the new segment we're calling What Are You Into? Emma, what are you pumped about having time for this weekend?
Well, here's the thing is I was going to say that I was excited about reading more of the Witcher books. I'm on the 3rd book now, but honestly, I just want to hang out with Paige and Lobster.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I mean, come on.
Look at this. It's so cute. This head's so big.
So I'm into imagining that someday that can be my life.
I would love to meet Lobster. I'd pay for a VIP experience.
Absolutely.
Look in your
Yep.
All right. In memoriam, I am paying tribute to the 3DS by playing every single one of the 3DSs I
Why? So many.
We have one of the same ones.
own. Hey, nice. Yeah, so the 3DS has officially been discontinued. They're no longer making it anymore. I love the 3DS. This is one of my favorite consoles of all time, so that's why I have so many. I don't actually know why. Actually, this one, I got modded out so it can stream. It has a USB port into it so you can record gameplay.
Dang.
I was a big fan of the 3DS. I played Mario Kart for like, what, 200-300 hours? Jeez. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of cool. Like 3DSs are awesome, but they got nothing on my Game Boy fanny pack. Which also has 1989's classic Game Boy inside of it. Oh yeah, read and weep.
Oh, dang.
Oh, it works.
It's not an iPhone case?
It works.
That's not just packaging for your Kindle.
It does everything. I'm buying a PS5 on this right now.
PS5 on there. Well, I mean, hey, maybe you'll have better luck on the Game Boy than we have on the actual internet.
That's
so,
amazing. All right, well, I'll be doing this
Okay,
now, so
well,
y'all take care.
that is
The
about
end of the
going
show is just
to
all of us playing
do
games
it
together.
For the download this week, we're going to make sure that hopefully the Nintendo police don't find us with all of our illegal discontinued consoles.
Hey, let me tell you.
We'll see you next
Come at me,
Wednesday, but
Nintendo
for now,
police.
we're
You can
gonna
pry
leave you
this out of
with
my
some
cold,
more.
dead hands.
No,
Come at me.
people want Paige and Lobster not yelling about Game Boy. Let's give it to them.
Aw, this is the wholesomest thing. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week on The Download.
Goodbye.